In this video, we are going to learn basic flower. Not a very specific flower in terms of the flower family, but I'm just going to use a reference almost like hibiscus, but not literally as hibiscus. Speed drawing again, there's a lot of things to do, so try to pay attention and follow my pencil movements and the way I try to establish. The drawing is pretty light as of now, but eventually things will get a little darker and clearer, because something you should know when you try to draw and if you have to shade them realistically or semi-realistically or however it is, besides abstract or any expressionism style, try to draw very lightly, so when you start shading, things will be easier for you and the flower or any object will look more realistic than just a sketch. Now I started shading a little bit. The initial details. Now let me just, as I'm doing it, let me just explain about a couple of things. Now there are many ways to establish any realistic subject or a specific object that you're trying to draw, and color, paint. Now it can be from the darker values to lighter values, or you can establish the lighter values first and then go towards the darker areas. And then you can also try doing the detailing beforehand, not the absolute dark detailing and fine details, just simple detailing, establishing the shape of the object or some other stuff, and then you can continue with the shading and then go back to fine details. What I'm doing is I'm using medium values. Pay attention, this is very important. I'm using medium tonal values first, and then I'm going towards the darker areas, and then once I finish with those, I'll try to get back to establish some highlights or anything that I would like to recover. But that is a process which I'm using right now. Now those details are finished. Now I'm going to do the second one. Now if you notice, I'm not entirely shading the whole petal. It's just enough to establish or suggest the shape of the petal and those fine nerve style details. I don't know how to say and explain that exact thing, but those small neuron type of structures. So now, any flower you do, in a generalized way, if I put it, the middle portion of the flower will have the most depth, thus it will be slightly darker than the petals. So now the medium tones are established, as you can see. And those are the corners of the petals. Now that's a very important part to establish, so you can differentiate from two petals. And there we go. It's kind of finished, but not exactly. So these are the steps. I'm also writing it on the paper, so when you have to do a reference, you don't have to listen to my voice all the time. So what do you have to do? First step, do the shading, do the detailing. Second step, then The third would be extreme dark, and then you have to establish the highlights. Little bit of a depth. Now the stem. This is just a rough reference, but even if you do this much, it will look absolutely gorgeous. There we go, a very simple clean flower. As I already mentioned, shading, detailing, extreme darks, highlights. So to do the highlights, you can use an eraser and try to have a clean shine here and there. Those shines will actually make those petals even more realistic. Just trying to clean up those shades on the petals, a little bit of depth here and there. At this point, I'm not basically trying to put a lot of things, I'm just trying to do here and there. So I showed you how to do shading, detailing. Now I'm going to do the highlights. There we go. A little bit. If you think they're kind of too much while erasing, then you can definitely go ahead and put a little more shading just to cover up. There we go. Nice and easy. A little bit of shine here, a little bit of a shine there. Try to use the corner of the eraser and the flat ones for wider areas. And that's quite good actually. Now what I want you to remember is establishing a realistic thing is not really easy, but it can be easy if you follow the basic required steps and methods. So